Hi, it's Jamie from Evolution5. Today I wanted to make a bit of a different video, and today's video is really about asking for your advice, opinions and any comments you may have with regards to recruitment. So Evolution5, we're embarking on a new 20-year strategic plan with a more focused 5-year plan. And in order to deliver this plan, we are looking for good people. We know we've got roles that we haven't fulfilled yet. We've got roles that we need to fulfill. And there's probably roles that we haven't really thought about at the moment. And one of the things that we're struggling with at the moment, before we even embark on this plan, is finding good people. So how do we do that? So I'd really love to know your thoughts on how do you find good people in the industry you work in. Number one, I really don't mind if you work outside of construction. And to my fellow colleagues in the construction industry, how do you recruit and what successes have you had? I'd really love to hear from you. I know you don't want to give away your trade secrets, but we're all in it together, right? So I'd really love to know what works, and I'd also like to know what doesn't work. So one of the things that we're looking to do as part of the strategy is to make a recruitment video. So I'd like to know, what do you think should be in that video? You know, of course we want to portray our culture. I think that's something that should be natural. We should sell ourselves as a business. But as a prospective candidate or employee of the future, as an employer who has made a video or is thinking about making a video, what are your thoughts? What have you thought about that should be in that video? If you're a potential candidate or an employee, what should we as a company, how can we appeal to you? So what should we be putting in that video? I'd really like to know, because I want to make a really great recruitment video that reflects our company, is appealing to candidates, and is something a little bit special and a little bit different. So I'd love to hear from you in respect of what should be in the video. But that's only one part of the recruitment strategy. It's really important for me that if we've got a long-term strategic plan, that our people are at the forefront of this plan. And I say our people, that's our current people, and that's also the people that haven't joined the business at the moment. So it's really, you know, any feedback, any help you're willing to give is very much appreciated. So I'll just go through a few of these items that I nicked off of Google as part of a strategic recruitment strategy, and just want to know your thoughts. So the first is defining our brand. So I think that one's a little bit obvious to me, because in order for us as a business to appeal to candidates and other people out in the industry or outside the industry, I think it's really important they know who they may work for and what that business is all about. So, you know, defining our brand, culture, that for me, that goes without saying, but obviously it's a key element. The other one says treat candidates as customers. I like this. So what it means is give the candidate a professional experience during the recruitment process, so they get a really good feel for what they're entering into if they were to indeed accept a position with the company. And I think we should be professional at all levels anyway, every part of the process of recruitment or otherwise. But I think it's really good advice. The other one, it says use social media in a targeted way. I completely agree. And the thing with social media, the different platforms will reach out to the different demographics, the different audiences. So I guess we can choose wisely in what we use and how we use it. You know, some people say, oh, I only use LinkedIn as a professional, you know, social media platform. I don't use Facebook. But, you know, some of your next employees, or depending on the role within the organization, you might actually find that employee is probably on Facebook or social media looking for these type of messages or these type of opportunities. So I wouldn't discount anything, but it's about, I guess, looking at the right platform for what you're trying to achieve and the right role. So what am I trying to say? Let's not be one, you know, channel visioned into just this platform. There's plenty out there, and it could be you use all of them, but who knows? Yeah, I'd like your thoughts. Fourth thing was job adverts that reflect our company culture, tailored and not generic. Yeah, they're fine, no problem, I get that. Job ads, yeah, okay, you've got to have a job ad, you've got to have a job description. my thoughts are they're probably best delivered through social media, even if they're linked back to a website or wherever that job post is. But again, that's my thoughts. I'd like to know yours. Employee referral program. So this is a really interesting one. We've done this in the past, letting our employees know, incentivizing them, letting them know the positions we're looking for. Do they know anyone? Some financial, monetary and other incentivization. We've had some success. I don't know. I like the idea, but it hasn't really delivered the results you may think it might have delivered by incentivizing your existing employees. But hey, maybe you've had success, so let me know. Let me know what worked, what I'm not doing. That'd be great. Then we got niche job boards. Yeah, okay, right, whatever that means. Job boards. I don't know what niche job boards means. Engaging interviews. Okay, that bit I love. Yeah, especially if I'm interviewing, it should be engaging. You should really get to know the person sat in front of you. But is there anything different that we can do in interviews that really help the process, so it's not just transactional, the typical asking about the experience of where you've been when it's all on the CV anyway? How can we go about interviews differently? Because look, when we're recruiting, in my mind, when we're recruiting, we're thinking about not just the process, but what we don't want is the failure. If we're not doing the process correctly, or if we're promising the world that we're not actually going to deliver, somewhere along the line, it's not going to work out. So why put the effort into something that's not going to work out? So we really got to make the whole experience reflective of what is actually being offered, but reflective of the company and the brand, which we talked about at the beginning. So, for me, engaging interviews, I think, are really important, but I want to know what you do that might be a little bit different. So yeah, really like to hear on that one, because I try to make them engaging, but it doesn't mean I'm doing it right or as well as we could do it. Use recruitment videos. So that's where I started. So that's our plan. This is a bit of a prelude to us making a video, and any comments, opinions, feedback we get from you will most definitely be considered in our planning of a recruitment video. And again, we need this because, we're looking to grow, and it's just all part of the greater plan for the business. Feedback from candidates. I think this is important. I think a lot of the time we think we're in control as the employer, and it's what matter. We matter the most. Not at all. Rubbish. It'd be really good if somebody declines an offer. Why don't we find out why they declined the offer and use that as feedback to improve the process, to better ourselves. So again, I think I'm giving advice here. I'm looking for advice at the same time. And then lastly, 10, reaching out to past applicants. What that means is, okay, we may have interviewed someone in the past, we didn't offer the position or they didn't accept, but we've still got that information, obviously data protection, all the rest of it, on file, with permissions, I should say that. So why don't we reach back out to these people? Things change, people's circumstance changes, our circumstance changes, circumstances change as businesses. So, another part of a strategy. So that was the sort of 10 points that I picked up from Google. Have I missed anything in terms of the strategy, the initial strategy? Love to hear. I do want to clarify at this point, we do understand retention of staff is really important, but that's not what this video is about. So I haven't forgotten it. It's not lost on me. I really appreciate, incentivization, training, all the rest of it, and retention and good conditions for our current employees. But that's another video. In fact, that's a good idea. That's definitely another video. Long-term strategy. So I was having a chat with somebody only yesterday, and I said, right, okay, we're talking about recruitment, but, we can't dismiss that in the construction industry, we do have a skill shortages. So I've really struggled not only finding applicants for positions like quantity surveying, project management, CDM, advisory services, whatever it might be. Not only have I just sort of struggled myself in finding applicants responding, I've definitely struggled finding decent applicants. We get all sorts of inquiries that don't remotely match, almost ignore the job description. So clearly that's not a reflection on them, that's a reflection on us. Somehow we're not cracking the process. We may be doing it too transactional, maybe too archaic, whatever it is. But we really struggle. So I was having the conversation about, why don't, is there mileage? Not is there mileage, that's the wrong thing to say. But, I love the idea of apprenticeships, and I love the idea of some kind of internal academy. Doesn't matter, we're small at the moment, we're looking to grow. Size shouldn't really make a difference, it's a mindset thing. But should we take the approach of an academy, lots of apprenticeships, obviously, the apprentices, they move on, then the next level moves on. So, once you start it, you're sort of building a really good system, an academy, a training structured program where you're training and bringing in and investing right from the outset, so everybody knows what they're doing, the company they work for, how they're doing it. You're really installing the culture and the brand and the ethics of how you work. So I love the idea of that. And the comment, which I've heard lots of times before, and I completely get, so this isn't a criticism, especially if the person who said it is watching, but what they said is, yeah, but the concern always is if we do that, and invest all that money and, soon they become fee earners and then they get qualified, they're always looking at the grass is green, they're always looking somewhere else. And, and I said, not, this is not my words, this is, one of the old adages, but I said, but that's what people say, isn't it? It's like, what if I do this and they leave? And the response is, but what if you don't? And it's, that's how we should be looking at it. What if we don't invest in our staff, our people? The consequences are far worse than someone leaving. The other thing is I've always said is when somebody leaves our business, unless it's sort of they're relocating or their circumstances change, the first thing I always want to do is, what didn't we do? And I think that's really important. We always think, oh, someone's left for more money. That's not really always what it's about. It's about, did we not create the right environment? Did the working conditions not necessarily work for that person? Were they not moving on and developing? It's a natural thing to think it's all about money. It really isn't all about money. Money is important. We get that. People got mortgages to pay. They have responsibilities, liabilities, whatever it is. We get that. And we start at that point. But that's not what motivates people, or most people. It's far more than that. So we've always got to kind of look at ourselves, in that respect and go, what could we have done better? Again, that's a lot about, the retention thing I talked about just a minute ago. So I'd love to know your thoughts on, is an academy, apprenticeship, kind of, we have apprenticeships already, but, that kind of model, or is it a balance, between having that and having recruiting more senior people? The issue, well, it's not the issue, but a topic really around some of the old, when I say old, I don't necessarily mean in age, I mean more in terms of experience more than anything, but I've always done it this way. You can't teach, old dogs new tricks. So how do we deal with that aspect of recruitment, or recruitment strategy? So I've done a bit of a ramble. Hopefully it all makes sense when you watch this back, or I watch this back. But the point is, we're looking for a bit of help, a bit of advice, a bit of feedback. There's lots of great people out there who run fantastic companies in the construction industry. There's a lot of people I admire out there. So if you can give us any help, it'll be greatly appreciated.